Every person has a fear. Spiders, snakes, clowns, dinosaurs. There comes a time in every person's life when that person must face their fears. On this season, Irene will come face to face with the notorious killer doll, her greatest fear, Chucky.
I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I dig it!
Will she be able to conquer her fears? Find out on this season of Face Your Fears. Hello and welcome to Face Your Fears, episode 8. Right.
Okay.
So, we've watched the movies.
Yes.
Now, we must fly.
Fly?
Fly!
Where are we going?
The western sky! Literally, because we're going to California.
Are we going to Disneyland?
No, we would not go to Disneyland on any trip to California. But we have other things we must do while we are out there.
Okay, like what?
Well, we have to go visit a friend.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know I had friends out in California?
You have friends in California?
Did you know I had friends?
You have friends? Oh, no. Which friend are we seeing in California, though?
Oh, it's my friend named Charles.
Really?
Yeah. But everyone calls him Chucky.
Nope, not going. Nope,
Well,
don't wanna go.
you have to because you already went. We were in California.
Yes.
We were doing a business trip / vacation / entertainment
Research
exploration / let's go to see everything.
Yes.
While we were out there, we got to meet with the wonderful head of Alterian Inc., Tony Gardner. He is absolutely amazing and has done work on a tremendous amount of movies: Hocus Pocus, Hairspray, Chucky movies like Smokey the Bear, just everything. He's done so many things with this company. And we got to go and talk to him about we as an organization, as a nonprofit, as people, are interested in puppetry. So we said, well, let's see if we can meet and chat with him. So he graciously allowed us to chat with him for a little bit about like what our organizations do, between Rainbow Sun, which didn't exist really at the time that we did this,
No.
and our nonprofit Actors Reaching Out, because we're going to start incorporating more puppetry elements. Woohoo, surprises. And he walked us through his studio, and we got to kind of look at how things operate and ask any sorts of random questions about radio puppetry and regular puppetry and how they accomplish some of their effects, and how we can take these effects for film and apply them to a live stage format.
Yeah, he was really informative, and it was definitely more interesting than I thought. Like, it's a complicated process.
Yes.
Which is really interesting, and he was super sweet, very, very nice. The first thing I see when we walk in is like,
Well, it's funny
This
because
is
I
on the
was like,
couch.
this was a long drive from where we were originally. So I was
Yeah.
like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, I walked out and I saw Tony and I kind of waved and I kept walking back, and Carolyn goes, "Your friend's in the other room." And I was like, "Tony's over there. I don't know what you're talking about." I turned and I
Not
see
that friend.
Chucky just sitting on the couch, just kind of head tilted. And I was like, this is the best. It's everything I wanted out of this trip. So we go in, he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's move him," like without name anything. So he sets him aside, and we start talking about our nonprofit and kind of what we do and everything. He was like, "Oh, I could totally walk you around." So we walked around. We met some of the other team that was there working on other projects. We got to see a lot of random things. One of the things that we got to see was from Hocus Pocus. So
Yes.
Tony did a lot of you'll see him in a lot of behind the scenes footage for Hocus Pocus because he did the makeup. His team did the makeup and animatronic work for Thackeray.
yeah,
So we had to see Thackeray.
or what was left of him.
And there's not much left of him at this
It
point,
was like a tiny little arm. It was like, here, this is...
but it's there. You know, when you're done making a movie, you repurpose a lot of things for the next project.
you
So
recycle.
like
Yeah.
You know, he showed us a couple of other things from commercials they've done.
Yeah, there was like a gorilla suit.
There was a
he
gorilla,
showing.
different gorilla heads, and they showed how they like did the casting for everything and going through that process, which was really, really cool. You know, it's a movie studio, so there's props and boxes of labels
There's
with
stuff
all
everywhere.
sorts of things. So you
Yeah.
see something, they're like, oh, I know that movie, or oh my god, and it's
Recognize
just like,
that?
you know, you start feeling like, you remember Hollywood Studios when they used to like actually have stuff like that around all over the place, and
Memories.
there was an area that had special events that now I can't remember what it's called, but it was in the back by the backlot tour, and they had all sorts of movie props and stuff from old parades and everything back there, and it was just like, oh, it was so good. Any hoozle, so it was kind of like that. But obviously, you know, we were there to see one of our friends. Because you can't face your fears until you meet the actual fear.
It was the ultimate test, I would say.
There was a lot of random things, like Tony's worked on the last 3 movies. So the bust of his head from when it came off in Seed was there.
Yes.
But they still had a lot of stuff out from Cult of Chucky. So he got to walk us through there. You know, you see a lot of this on the bonus features, but sometimes it's a little different seeing it on a bonus feature versus seeing it in real life.
Yeah.
So he walked us through like some of the remotes and how they worked and how each of them operated completely differently. And it's funny because I noticed with that, when we went to England and went to the Tugs event, those are the same exact remotes that they used then that they're using now. So it's like that kind of technology and the techniques that they use don't really change in this process. What's changed a lot is that they add little snippets of like green screen to help like enhance the face effects, so little like strips of like different things to just give a little bit more life to the puppets and everything, which is something you can do in film. What was the most interesting part about non-Chucky stuff?
Non-Chucky stuff. Well, as we got to chatting about when they mix puppet with a human performer, like wearing the suits and things like that, like techniques to make it less heavy, make it a little more breathable so it's not as hot. And he talked about using a shop vac to blow cool air in, which I thought was actually a very genius idea, because there are some companies that do use that. And we're like, oh yeah, it's something super simple. You wouldn't even think about it that you could use it in that capacity.
That's what's great about
works.
props and special effects studios is they have to come up with super creative and simple ways to be able to accomplish things and get, you know, safety precautions and all that kind of stuff. With Chucky, what was the most interesting thing or a couple things that you learned or saw when you were there?
Well, I loved that we got to see the remote controls just for the facial movements alone and how intricate it was, because as they said, it takes at least 6 or 7 people to do everything. So that was cool, and we got a bit of a crash course on how to work that. So that was really interesting to see. So you could see it in action about how everything works. I thought that was kind of cool. The other big moment for me was I actually got to hold him.
So at the very end, we were walking around and we took a couple pictures, and we took a group picture with Tony and Chucky in the background. Then we got to hold Chucky individually. There are a ton of pictures of me, which I will not be posting, of me like, oh my gosh, look at his shoe and look at his over, look at this, like, just because that's the person I am. Is like, look at all the details. I'm never gonna get to do this again.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It's enchanting. Yeah, so it was an interesting experience to kind of literally have him right there in my arms. And Tony's like, well, what do you think? He's like, he's heavy like a baby.
Yes.
that was the first thing out of my mouth. But it was really kind of cool.
It's not as scary when it's in the studio with the special effects.
Yeah. It felt like a safer environment. So I was like, okay, nothing's gonna happen. It's fine.
We have worked with Alex Vincent in the past with different conventions, and Tony had a doll sitting in the corner, like packaged, and we're like, oh, look at this one. This one looks really nice. And yeah, that's for Alex. I said, oh, we got to see it before Alex did, so we'll tell him.
Can I say that I've held it since then?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I held
Because
it
you did, yes.
in October.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
you brought it with them.
Somebody walked by and was like, it's not in Dave, you told Chucky. And I was like, actually, this isn't the first for me.
Correct. People think we're weird. We're just cool. So in case you haven't seen, Jennifer Tilly runs Jennifer Tilly's account, and then Tiffany also has an Instagram account. And she is just oh my god, she's such a diva. But because she does all sorts of things, like poses in bathtubs and goes all sorts of places, sometimes she needs, as all Hollywood actresses do,
A
need some
little facelift.
cosmetic work. So
Yes.
that was old cosmetic work that was there, because it shows that, you know, these things do get replaced if they're used. Like, you know, there's a lot of great things that Alterian does, and I think they've done a lot of good with the Chucky movies. I think they've been able to combine a lot of technology and techniques from previous films and previous experiences and bring them onto this. I think it's a great team that works together with it. You are not scared of Chucky anymore.
Not as much as I was before, so I think it worked a little bit.
All right. Well, on the next episode of Face Your Fears with Irene, we have to continue on to do other things.
What?
Yes.
This is never gonna end. Ugh.
What if I brought in Chucky?
No.
Oh, there's a ring at the door. Who is it? It's a package. Don't sign for it.
Not funny.
Yeah. Oh, very funny.